This weekend, Kobe Bryant will be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. But he won't need this induction to be immortalized. He already lives in the hearts and minds of every single basketball fan. Like all legends, there are certain performances that stand out more than others.
And no arena is more inviting of those performances than Madison Square Garden. February 2nd, 2009. Knicks fans were lucky enough to see one of those nights unfold before their eyes. Kobe Bryant's 61-point game at MSG.
It was a cold winter night, but inside the Garden, Kobe Bryant was on fire.
I spoke with legendary and Hall of Fame broadcaster Mike Breen, former Knicks All-Star David Lee, and Knicks courtside regular Steve Schirippa to get a sense of what it was like to be on the call, to be on the court, and to be in the stands.
And witness Kobe's greatness on basketball's greatest stage.
It's hard to describe what buzz means in a building or what electricity means in the building, but that building had it that night from when the layups began.
Shen, good evening, everyone. This is a very exciting week for the Knicks fans. They get to watch the three best teams in the NBA go up against their squad, of course, as we've talked about with the Lakers and the Cavs and the Celtics. But what makes it so special is that the team is playing some of their best basketball we've seen in quite some time.
You know, Spike was there. Cheech and Chong was there. You had McEnroe, Mariano Rivera, Jay-Z was there. You know, you had that celebrity buzz going on. Nothing like Madison Square Garden.
Kobe, you know, he so embraced those moments. And you always remember the moments when they first come out of the tunnel to come out for warm-ups. Because the crowd gets there early for those games. Not always, but when it's an elite player, when it's the star player, the crowd gets there early. And when they come out from under the tunnel, the old tunnel, of course, and come onto the floor, that's where you first hear the murmurs. That's where the buzz starts to happen.
Usually before the game, he's, hey, how's your family? He had met my parents a couple times in passing. It was always, how's your mom and dad doing? Tell everyone I said hello, and then he would, get on with the game. So we get to the captain's circle this particular night, and he just has this look in his eye. And it looks like he either hadn't slept, he had been crying, something was going on. He had this kind of like glazed over eyes. And I'm like, hey, Kobe, pal, how you doing? Nice to see you. And he just nods his head. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. Did he not get a good night's sleep? Is he not? And he just said, best of luck to you guys. And I was like, uh-oh.
A losing effort as we get underway here at the Garden. And at that point, we thought.
Well, we've seen him put up fantastic performances, hit big shots, but it was one after another. Like he came just firing haymakers right from the start.
Team in the lead, Kobe Bryant knocks down another. Kobe Bryant's 3 for 3.
Quentin Richardson was the one assigned to guard him, and I can't say in the first 6 to 8 minutes. I think Quentin played perfect defense on about 5 or 6 possessions.
So it's been a Kobe Bryant show thus far.
And I was sitting in the right corner, right in front of me. A 3-point, right there. I could have touched him. And he nailed an incredibly tough shot.
And the Knicks were trying to defend him as well as they could. But he just, he was mixing it up beautifully. You really knew about midway through the first quarter, like, okay, this might be one of those special nights.
Sets himself, puts it up, puts it in. Kobe Bryant played on a show here in the first half.
If he was talking trash, I think I would have felt a lot more comfortable in the game. He didn't say a word. And that's what scared me. And you're watching this, and he just has this blank stare on his face the whole time. And he just kept going and going and going.
Easy to Bryant. Bryant inside for the slam. Kobe Bryant electrifying the Garden here in the first half.
I think in the second quarter you go, we're going to see something here. He's just hitting them from everywhere.
Bryant to the basket, count it, and a foul. Kobe Bryant with 33, and a chance for one more at the line.
When we talk about legendary great players, there was no better place to be in a complete zone than Madison Square Garden.
These are Knicks fans, and they hate their opponent. And as the game starts to get away from him a little bit, it was close, I think, in much of the third quarter was still fairly close. But as he still is pouring on the points, and the thought for Knicks fans is that, okay, victory does not seem like it's going to happen tonight. They just hopped aboard and rode the train with Kobe and started cheering everything he did. And the MVP chants got louder. You can count on one hand the amount of players that heard MVP chants, opposing players that heard MVP chants at the Garden.
Well, this is the mecca of basketball. It still is. It's his center stage. This is the Broadway stage, like you said. Kobe wants to perform. I mean, he was an entertainer. He's an incredible competitor. He did his thing that night.
One of the greatest individual performances ever here at Madison Square Garden.
We're standing at the free throw line as he's shooting his final 2 free throws, and Pau Gasol looks at me and he goes, wow.
I remember when he was taken out of the game, the way he walked off the court. There's just that strut.
Yes.
I just did something that was pretty amazing, even by my standards.
One of the greatest individual performances and the highest scoring game ever here at the Garden. 61 points for Kobe Bryant. An electrifying performance here at Madison Square Garden.
And the MVP chants cascading from the rafters.